I'd been really strong all day, and it just was really hard to get back home and to see everything in the room and to walk by everything baby and just know that she's not there.
Jessica and I were dating in high school, and I watched an adoption process unfold with my little sister. I had one biological sister, and my parents ended up adopting.
When we began the process, it was almost 3 years ago that we started the process, and doors closed, doors closed, doors closed. It was just always a closed door, and when we finally did get cleared, Black Hawk called. We paused.
I remember when we finally decided, after we had gotten moved to Fort Wayne, Indiana, that it was time. And it was a pretty quick turnaround, that we just said, God's not through with this whole journey of adoption with us yet. So we re-engaged.
And that's when we started getting connected to birth moms. And so the first birth mom that we got connected to, it fell through. That was really hard. I felt really disappointed. I really just felt like, here we go again, because I had really gotten excited so many times.
So we'd already been through one failed adoption. Guards are up, but we felt like God started tearing the guards down when we were matched again.
I just felt like God just made it abundantly clear that, hey, your calling is not just to this child, it's to the birth mom as well. And the next couple of months, I really poured into the birth mom. We spent a lot of time. We talked about God. We talked about how I would raise her child, to know Jesus.
My guard really came down when we were nearing the end of that 6-month period where we're pouring into this birth mom and preparing our home, when I finally saw the nesting phase kick in for Jessica.
That 2 weeks before, I really just went for it, just finally just let go and said, okay, God, we're doing this. I'm all in. Let's go.
I remember for me watching her get the crib ready in our bedroom. That was the point at which I knew I'm going to be a dad again.
The birth mom stopped communicating with me.
This was not going to happen.
I remember this particular Saturday morning that I got up and I was feeling so anxious. Like, I went in the closet and I cried, and I was just like, God, I'm just so anxious. Like, please let's get this done. Like, I just need to know something. Either way, let's do this. And so I got up and I read a devotional that I'd been reading. Time may be putting your faith to the test, but don't focus on what hasn't happened. Focus on what has happened. If you've seen God do it before, He can do it again. My friends had actually invited me to come hang out, and so I was feeling anxious all morning, and then I went to go hang out with them. It ended up being a surprise baby shower.
God, why would you allow us to be obedient for a 3-year period just to get us all the way to this point, for us not to see the promises that we felt you had given us come to fruition? It was a painful process.
And Sunday evening we found out through the aunt of the birth mom that she had had the child, that she had named her, and that it was pretty much over.
That Sunday night, when everything kind of took the downturn, what I remember the most really was just how God's grace sustained me, even though I was crumbling, falling apart on the inside.
In my mind, I felt like I had lost 2 people. Like, I had lost this baby that I had invested in and felt called to, and I had lost this birth mom that I had invested and loved. Monday morning, I got up and I didn't want to talk to anybody. I was pretty angry and frustrated, and I was pretty mad at God. Tuesday, I really feel like that was the heaviest day for me, that I felt a lot of grief.
That night, we got to the place where we'd written out some steps of what it was going to look like for us to get to a place of closure and of forgiveness and grace and trust again. It was the next day that little Kaya was born. And it was that night that we got the phone call that there was a little 4-pound, 1-ounce baby girl that needed a family. And I think it's not ironic that God had gotten us to a place of trust and forgiveness and hope again. And the next day is when she was born. We ended up driving to Illinois, meeting this sweet little baby girl in the hospital, middle of the day on Friday.
Yeah, my heart was thinking about this little baby that I was just praying we were going to get to take care of, but still worried and guarded that this could still not happen.
There were so many blanks to fill in, even with the adoption process, medically, and all of those things. But then we watched God completely remove from the equation all of the potential obstacles, the medical complications. They just didn't happen. And God just had his hand on this little baby girl.
Yeah, I love it too that she was 6 weeks early, but we felt like it was 3 days late, but she was right on time for God. Like God had it all on time. He didn't make us wait 6 more weeks for her.
Yeah.
She was our little baby, and we didn't know the whole time that it was really her. I remember the first time that I got to hold her and just looking into her eyes, you know, I thought within probably 10 minutes, I just wanted her to be mine. God did it again.